Thank you for that lovely introduction. My name is Andy Lee. 7 letters long and really short, isn't it? I first got this name when I came to Canada at age of 7. I didn't know how to say a single word of English, so I had to pick the simplest name that was out there. It was either Andy or Ben. And you can probably guess which one I chose. Well, anyways, I can see from your face saying, why is a guy like this doing on such a prestigious stage like TEDx? And my answer is teenage optimism. In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to explain what this means, and you're going to love it. You're going to start going to seeing it everywhere, and you're going to see where it lives inside of your heart. Now let me tell you how I found my teenage optimism, so you can too. Between my transition of junior high school and high school was a big change for me. My junior high school only consisted of 19 grade 9 population. And currently, the school that I'm going to, Strathcona High School, consists of 500 people only in grade 10. And by the way, I'm grade 10, not grade 11. Well, anyways, due to this very different environment, I usually trap myself within my own bubble and didn't want to talk with anyone, especially those who were 6'4", right there. Well, anyways, as I was walking down the hallway, of course being trapped by my really tall peers, I saw a poster that said, "Welcome grade 10s, join Student Union Executive." And I thought to myself, well, this is a prestigious title, and I think this will allow me to break out of my shell. So I began to look more into it. My first task was to collect 30 signatures. That's bigger than my entire grade 9 class. Well, anyways, so I didn't want to speak with anyone, and I entered my class and scooched people to my right and scooched people to my left, saying, "I know your face, could you please sign this?" And to my surprise, they said yes. And this was the first time when something sparked within my own mind. And then the next task that I was assigned was to campaign in front of all grade 10s. Yikes. So I thought to myself two things. One, I'll create a catchy slogan ever. And second, I'll create the funniest poster ever. That's when I was 7 years old. Thank you. And that was my grade 9 class, only grade 9 whole population of 19 people. Well, anyways, back on with my story. My slogan was, "Vote for Andy Lee." It is simple as 1, 2, 3. It caught into people's minds so fast that everyone was talking about it. And my poster was Andy Lee and the election stone, and of course, the election runner. The next day, everyone was talking about it. It started off something called, "Dude, I love your poster." To something like, "Bruh, you're my hero." And this was the moment when something burned within my own mind. Like it was a passion for my fuel. And I began to call this fueling quality as teenage optimism. And to my surprise, I actually did make it to Student Union Executive, and I was able to meet many passionate teenagers who are out there. And I was able to see some of the common quality that all these teenagers had. They were, 1, not afraid of taking new challenges. 2, they thought of success and what they could do to achieve that success. And 3, they were always optimistic. And my teenage optimism did not just end there. I developed a love for public speaking. So I joined drama, high school mall UN, debating competitions, and speech competitions, not knowing what it is. So I went out there and made one of the most choppiest speeches of my life, and even lost 3 rounds in a row. But I absolutely loved the experience. It's amazing what teenage optimists can do, because that is what led me to be on this stage today. And now, teenage optimism fueling my passion for public speaking, I wanted to express my opinions. but I never knew how. And that was the moment when I stumbled across a unit called slam poetry in my drama class. And now for those who don't know what slam poetry is, it's where one usually expresses their opinions or emotions in a poetic way. So today I'd like to recite you a small poem that I wrote for my drama class, and it's called For Those Who Can't Speak. And it's about whether they're having language barriers or too shy or too timid to speak. And now I'll recite it. For those who can't speak. What do you know about me? Well, you know that my name is Andy, and you know that I'm that Asian kid in your class. But what do you know about me? I first came to Canada at age of 7. I didn't know how a single word of English, so I was clearly distinguished. I did not know a difference between B and D. I just knew that my last name was Lee. I have completely lost my voice. I wanted to shout, yell, express my emotions, but that was the same as yelling at an empty ocean. Why would anyone want to listen to a small Asian boy? Unless, of course, they wanted to annoy me. Every night, I wondered, why am I here? Sometimes I feel like I disappear. I even wish the 4-leaf clovers that I want this to be all over. And that night, when I was crying myself to sleep, somebody knocked on my door and said, Andy, why don't you just try to speak? Speak and speak until you give it a week, so it'll be unique and maybe you'll learn a new technique. And as a being promising 7-year-old boy, I said, okay. The next day, I approached my group of friends and I yelled, pig, in that same accent. Many were surprised and some even laughed at me. But they said, do you want to play? And I nodded my head. The following days, tag, let's tag. Come on everyone, I'll be it, let's play tag. And before I realized, my pain descended, suspended, and ended. Now whenever I'm feeling down or having trouble with myself, I always try to speak and speak until I give it a week so I'll be unique and maybe I'll learn a new technique. I try to speak with others, to talk about their pain, even in times of rain, because I know that has a power to sustain from others feeling my pain again. Now for those who can't speak, whether they're facing language barriers or too timid or too shy to speak, if a promising 7-year-old boy who did not know a difference between B and D could speak, so can you. Just speak and speak until you give it a week, so it'll be unique, and maybe you'll learn a new technique. This is what teenage optimism allowed me to do. 9 months ago, I would have never imagined myself standing on this stage today, talking to you about what I have accomplished. 9 months ago, I trapped myself within my own shell and didn't want to talk with anyone, especially those who were tall. And right now, my best friend's height is 6'2". Teenagers and parents, look only at the bright side and only think successes. Promise yourself that you will never, ever give up. And this is how you will find your own unique teenage optimism. Find your burning fuel that'll help you to burn through every obstacle you face. Thank you very much.